Hi everyone, today we are going to be learning how to make this easy crochet lighted holiday shadow box. So for this project you're going to need a handful of different things. You're going to need some yarn. I am using Wool Ease Thick and Quick in the colorway Wild Strawberry. This is the bonus bundle that I had lying around, but you don't need nearly this much yarn. You only need really a tad more than a scrap amount. And then I'm using an N or P hook. In addition to our yarn and hook, for this project you're going to need some indoor-outdoor warm white color fairy lights, and these are the battery operated kind. That's very important. You don't want an electrical fairy light. Mine are just the copper wire kind that were $8.99 at Target. So you will also need a shadow box. Make sure to get an 8" by 8" shadow box. Obviously you could alter this pattern and make it larger or smaller if you wanted to. I just picked up this shadow box from Michael's for really cheap using a coupon. And then you will also need this vinyl decal that says all is calm, all is bright. Now you can use any vinyl decal for this project. I will have exactly 10 of this exact same decal in my Etsy shop linked in the description box below. Once those 10 are gone, they are gone and you won't be able to get this decal again. So if you want to make this project, make sure you head right on over to Etsy and get my decal. So with your yarn, go ahead and start with a slip knot. We're going to make the crochet fabric insert for our shadow box first. Once you have your slip knot, go ahead and start chaining. So that's just yarn over, pull through. For our chain stitches, you want to chain the perfect amount to fit inside your shadow box. So being that I'm doing an 8 by 8 shadow box, I am chaining 15. So go ahead and keep chaining until you have 15, and then I'm just going to work some half double crochet stitches here, and I'm going to work not in the second stitch but in the third stitch from my hook. So 1, 2, and 3, half double crochet. Remember that's yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3, and just half double crochet in each stitch along. You should wind up with about 13 half double crochets here. If you don't prefer half double crocheting or don't know how to half double crochet and you would rather single crochet or double crochet, you can do whatever stitch you like. I'm just doing a nice easy square, and I love the half double crochet stitch. Of the basic stitches, the half double is definitely my favorite. So I'm just half doubling all the way down here. It's worth noting that you can use any yarn you have lying around for this project. You don't have to use the Wool Ease Thick and Quick. It's just one of my favorite yarns, so that's what I chose, and it works up really quickly. So here we have my 13 half double crochets, and we're just going to chain 1 and turn. But first I want to go ahead and lie this on top of my shadow box and make sure that it's going to fit in there nicely. So we are good to go here. That is the perfect width. So you can go ahead and set that aside. We're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and turn your work. And then we're going to half double crochet in each stitch going back the other way. And we're just going to half double crochet all the way down once again, and then chain 2 and turn, and we're going to keep repeating this until our piece of fabric is about equal in length and width. So here I've worked up a whole bunch of rows. I have 12 rows of half double crochets with nice straight edges. You can crochet around the perimeter of this rectangle if you'd like to, but I prefer just the raw edges here, so I'm just going to leave mine just like this. Go ahead and snip your yarn and finish it off, so just yarn over and pull through. Now we're going to need a jumbo tapestry needle to weave in our ends. So just go ahead and weave your ends as you normally would. You don't have to weave them as securely as you would for a blanket or a project that is going to get a lot of use. This is going to be sitting in a shadow box virtually untouched probably forever. So I'm not really worried about like weaving my ends so well that it can go through the wash a million times and never come undone. We just need to weave it in so that it looks pretty. So go ahead and take the back off of your shadow box. Now this is kind of the fun part of putting this whole project together. Start to finish, even with filming, this project took me about 30-40 minutes. So if you weren't filming yourself, you could make this easily in under an hour. So here, my shadow box came with this kind of fabric cardboard and these little sewing pins. So I took the picture that the sewing pins were holding down off, and I'm just going to use the same sewing pins and pin my crochet fabric to the board. I'm kind of pulling it a little bit as you would when you block a crochet project, just to make it nice and even into the corners. I don't really want much of this board showing. Now I have my fairy lights, I've taken them out of the packaging, and I am just unwrapping them and kind of forming them into a square, wrapping them around the perimeter of my crochet work. I don't want the lights all over covering all my stitches, all those nice pretty stitches I just made. I just want it kind of surrounding everything within the shadow box. So the way that I'm doing this is my fairy lights are made of copper wire, so they will bend and kind of hold their shape. They're very thin and pliable. So what I'm doing is just kind of wrapping in concentric circles and forming those corners and kind of pinching and bending to hold things in place. It's okay if it's not perfect. It will move a little once you move things into the shadow box, but just kind of get it in this general shape. And then once you get to the end of the fairy lights, you want to just tuck that behind the board, kind of hold things in place as best you can, and then we're going to flip this over and place it into the shadow box. So you want to tuck all of the wire inside except for the very beginning and the very end of the wire here. We don't want the ends poking through to the front where you can see it. So I have those poking out. You can see the wire sitting in here nicely. Go ahead and check and make sure everything looks good, and then secure the back onto your shadow box. I'm going to be putting my shadow box on my desk or a table or something, just because I don't want the battery box hanging on the wall with this, but if you have fairy lights with a very small battery box, you'd probably be fine to hang this on the wall. So once this is all done, really all that's left to do is to place our decal. And you also need batteries in your battery box. So now that we're ready to place our decal, we're just going to be putting it right on the glass of the shadow box. So make sure that your glass is clean. Use some Windex or a damp cloth to wipe your glass perfectly clean. I did this beforehand. And then take your decal. I'm going to show you exactly how to apply it. Again, you can use any vinyl decal or even a sticker if that's what you prefer to do. Again, I have 10 of these right now in my Etsy shop. I'm sure they won't last long. I'll be sharing this video and this tutorial on all of my social media accounts. So make sure to head on over to Etsy if you want to get this beautiful All is Calm, All is Bright decal. So all I'm doing here is using the back of my nail and I'm pushing down on the decal. So I'm really making sure everything is stuck really well to that adhesive backing, and then I'm going to pull the paper off of this decal. So make sure you go really slowly and all of the decal makes it onto the sticky side and nothing is left there on that paper. Once everything is on the sticky side, very carefully flip it over and position it how you would like on the glass. So you want to make sure things are level and things are centered. And once you're happy with the placement before you stick anything down, start on one side. I start on the left, and go ahead and press lightly down all the way across, moving from one side to the other very slowly. And at this point, try not to adjust where you're placing things. You're kind of committed now, so go ahead and keep things where they are so that you avoid bubbling or creating any kind of lifts or seams. Now just go ahead and press down all over to really make sure everything is secure onto the glass. You can even use another tool or a credit card to really press things down really well, or your finger works great too. Now all you're going to do is peel the adhesive off, and you are all done. This project is super quick and easy and relatively cheap. I spent less than $25 for this whole project. So go ahead and make your All is Calm, All is Bright crochet shadow box and give it as a gift or use it in your own home as holiday decor this season. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Thanks for watching.